magic. That's the ticket. And Damian Williams, if he ever hopes to be U.S. Senator or president, is going to jump free of that wreckage because he knows it's explosive. And he got brought up through the BOULÉ, through Harvard or Yale. I don't know which law school he went to. There's been a huge investment in his career to become the next Barack Hussein Obama, who also, we know by now, was a synthetic Manchurian candidate president. Do you think they're going to stop at Michelle or Barack Hussein? No, not at all. They're now talking about AOC, another Puerto Ricana, like Jezebel Lopez. They're getting the soil ready. Right. By that time, they realize that the Latino electorate can be mobilized in time to put in someone like Alexandrix Ocasio-Cortez. I'm putting the X in their name, just like Latinx. I'm trying to be consistent for politically correct reasons. That's her, Jezebel Lopez. She's still pounding away on the floorboards, dancing away. She's singing about her. It's a self-glorification of her own arse.
What about this guy?
Boy, he is such a sap. He is such a clueless sucker. He is clueless. He should have stayed with Jennifer Garner. What was he thinking? He got tempted by Jezebel. Not once, but twice. That shows you how stupid men's are. We are stupid. We are idiotic. We don't deserve to be in charge. Let's turn it over to the women's. Let women's be our slave masters. I'm okay with that. But maybe he's not so dumb because, Jezebel earned a lot more than he did, and he's going to get half. So it's like the shoes on the other foot. It's the man who's going to get a lot out of the divorce proceedings. It says, women's love you. Thank you very much. Well, men are stupid because we tend to think with the wrong part of our anatomy. All the way up and down the line. I mean, that's a hard and fast rule. That's a great picture. That's South by Southwest, I guess, which was taken over by the globalists a long time ago, in case you don't know. Everything organic, including the flower power hippie movement, gets taken over and steered. The hip hop and rap movement, which started at grassroots, that was infiltrated, taken over, and steered. Clive Davis made sure that it all fell into his pockets, right? Not him literally, but the group that we don't even know about that says, yes, this is how you're going to steer the culture, and have them pay for it too. They're going to generate lots of money for their own enslavement. This is what Mark Twain was telling us about back in Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. Get the slaves to paint the fence for you and charge them for the pleasure of it. Yeah, that's capitalism at its finest. And by the way, Mark Twain was anti-imperialist. He was around, and he traveled around the world. He was a speaker, right? That's how he made his income. He saw a lot of stuff, and that's the Mark Twain we were never taught in school, the radical Mark Twain. So in Americana, we have those figures, and we have these pockets of resistance that we need to draw upon now in the 21st century. And let's get away from the top-down culture of CBS, Sony Records, or Arista, or all of them. Let's go for our local community-based performance art. culture. We can do it locally.
So
Schwab, yeah.
We're almost at the hour, but you've had about 24 questions come in. Do you have time to keep going for a bit?
Certainly, I have an opinion on everything, as you know. Klaus Schwab is really interesting because he's associated with Davos in Switzerland, right? Well, I was reading
Yes.
about the great intellectual giants of Germany and Austria before World War II, between the great wars. People like Ludwig Wittgenstein and Martin Heidegger. And you know what? They were all at Davos. Davos has an intellectual history that goes back to the foundations of modern 20th century philosophy and social theory and cultural theory. It has that long lineage. But instead, again, we're being hung up by this central casting caricature called Klaus Schwab. We can mock him. We're being, again, distracted by the glitz. We don't realize that Davos and what it represents is a decades-long process of technocratic enslavement that was being facilitated by some of the greatest minds in physics and philosophy and the humanities from primarily the German-speaking world. But there are also many British thinkers that were going down there as well. Right, Wittgenstein's doctoral dissertation advisor was none other than Bertrand Russell. Now, I don't know if you ever went to Davos, but I'm talking. This is the circle of people we're talking about. So don't stop at the celebs. Start from there and work your way back, and you'll find all kinds of important historical information. Tony Blair, he's a 2-bit actor. He's a music hall performer.
He caused a lot of death, though, when he was up slobbering all over George Bush, telling the world Saddam had weapons of mass destruction.
Oh, my gosh. But he's a tool. Yeah, they might give him an honorary position to take over, but it hardly matters in this world. It does matter if we understand where Davos really comes from, who funds it, and who benefits from it. It's, it's more than just Klaus Schwab getting to wear that cool uniform from Star Trek. Beyonce is Illuminati. This is another one of those questions that go on, right? She's a bit player in this larger long-run trajectory using certain segments of the Black or African American community and their excellence in intellectual pursuits, cultural, sports, using them in order to generate revenue, but also making sure that they do not make for another revolution like Toussaint Louverture. And they don't want any more Haiti revolutions. So they keep putting forward these individuals to make sure that people have the bread and circuses. But at the same time, funds the investors. So what do you think will happen here? I think hip hop will emerge from communities. It'll regenerate itself like it always does from the grassroots. That's why we're being fed or being exposed to astroturf because the regenerative powers of organic communities is so strong. But that's what's going to happen. And we're in for a new golden age of hip hop. Hip hop 2.0.
At this stage, Professor, how do you think the Diddy trial is going to play out? And will you be going to watch it?
I'll be watching. I don't have a live stream of it, but I'll be watching it on TubeView, some of the feeds. I do know one of the reporters that's his beat right there. And I'll be looking at his sites, and he has a Substack. I might subscribe to it. I'll be looking at that. That's on the agenda, but also on the agenda is following the docu-series that's being executive produced by none other than Melania Trump. Okay. I like to look over the current celebrity event horizon, not just look at the periphery, look at people like Damian Williams or what's upcoming. I plan to follow the docuseries, which is worth about $40 million. And guess what platform it's appearing on? Amazon Prime. And guess who donated $1 million to the inauguration of January? Jeff Bezos. Coincidence? I don't think so. So that's going to be interesting to see docudrama. And by the way, there was a $100 million deal that was struck with Amazon. Was it Amazon or was it Net? No, I think it was Netflix, between the former Prince Harry, British Harry, and Meghan Markle, which crashed.
Speaking about not crashing, you're getting asked about Katy Perry in space. What was that all about?
It looked like a scale model that was in the high desert out of Palm Springs. Do they really think we're that stupid? By the way, was that Nicole Shanahan in the capsule too? I think it was.
Let me find
in addition
the
to Katy Perry. They were all women's, right?
There they are.
Yeah, I think Nicole Shanahan. She was one of the. I think she was the chief funder of the RFK Jr. campaign. She was married to a tech billionaire. She bought her way into a position. She was the vice presidential running candidate, RFK Jr. I think that's Nicole Shanahan. I saw a close-up of a half Asian woman. So I think that was her. She's another one to watch. She's all over the place now on so-called independent media, which has been flooded by all manner of assets from who knows where. Amy says, what diss you make of the Blue Origin? Oh, the women crew. Yeah, okay. Well, I agree it is embarrassing. And it's definitely has nothing to do with women. It's sort of the girl power type of propaganda that we're being fed relentlessly from Netflix and Amazon Prime and the studios. Are there any good guys? Yes. Look in the mirror. The good news is we outnumber them, and we're getting smarter by the moment. The establishment's worried that another Haitian revolt is in the making. What is the A block unalivings? I'm not sure. I don't know which young rappers we're talking about.
Yeah, which unalivings are you referring to, Bailey? I mean, there has been a few here and there. Your thoughts on John Steinbeck? Ooh.
Well, he was a leftist, and then he gradually became into the center and became liberal. The Grapes of Wrath was during his days when he identified with the Reds, the Popular Front sort of book. He's well worth reading, though. He's an important author.
Yeah, he's one of my dad's favorite. I read that. What was it, Mice and Men?
Yes. Uh-huh.
That was moving.
It was also made into a movie.
So does J-Lo bathe in chicken blood?
I'm not sure about that. There are, from what I read, aspects of animal sacrifice in Ifa, or the Yoruba version of Santeria. I don't know if that includes human sacrifice. That warrants a closer look.
So Santeria, what is the definition of that for people here in the UK? Isn't it something the cartel practice as well?
I believe so. Yeah, and there's this saint, Santa Muerte, is another one they worship down on the U.S.-Mexico border. She looks like the Madonna, but has a black face. But she's definitely a pagan icon. Thank you for the... Okay.
Thank you for sharing many great articles and content on your Patreon. Are you exploring any other platforms? Appreciate you being here.
You're welcome, and I just do TubeView for now, and I'm on Patreon. Thank you for reminding people because I need to make some serious investment subscriptions so I can watch the Melania Trump docuseries. I can't, and I think some of it's going to go be previewed in theaters. It's going to have a theatrical release, but yeah, no other platforms. I think it spreads you out too thinly. I have a Substack account. I don't use it. I have TikTok and all that, but I don't use it. It's just X and Patreon. I don't even use Facebook anymore.
Uber wants to know your thoughts on Freud's dalliances with the Colombian marching powder.
Well, I think everybody knows about that. It wasn't illegal back then. I think it was a pretty common palliative for the educated bourgeoisie. Yeah, it might have had something to do with his intellectual output, though. Some of his ravings were where he comes unhinged. I think a lot of it. He must have
You
been
can
high.
Uber, you
Hmm?
can Google the love letters that he wrote to his fiancée when he was high on it.
Oh,
And
really?
he also wrote a paper, but once the side effects started kicking in into society, he never spoke about it again. So I documented that. I don't know if it was in one of my Escobar books or Clinton
Mhm.
Bush CIA conspiracies. It's in the notes at the back. So, all right, next
Mhm.
question is
Yes.
from Lady Katz. Can you read us some of your own lyricisms